circle wide knee squat. Push the hips out and sink. Try to get even a little deeper, a little wider in the knees, but keep that torso really, really straight. So it shouldn't really cause you to bend over at all. Eight of those. Yep, and then just pushing those knees out. If your knees are going outside of your ankles, just move your feet a little wider. All right, and then step in, and then let's do that. Hands rise to the middle, nice arc, like a really slow motion jumping jack. But try to keep it in a nice two-dimensional plane if you can. 8 times. All right. And then back to the windmill, so another wide stance, arms out, twist, toes to fingers to the toes, other side, and try to twist through the middle and hinge at the hip. So if you push your hips back a little bit, it'll help you get a little more hamstring stretch out of it. Let's go 6 on each side. All right, and then that chair pose sequence. So feet pretty narrow, sit your hips back, lift your hands out to a Y, and then it's kind of like a windmill twist, but you'll feel this a little bit more intensely in your upper back and abdomen. Let's just go for each direction. Turn to the side, sit back, twist and open, and try to keep your spine as long as you can, looking forward, not looking up. You can twist to the side. Keep those knees together. One more each way. All right. That warm-up sequence one more time. Circle wide knee squat. Push the hips out and sink. Try to get even a little deeper, a little wider in the knees, but keep that torso really, really straight. So it shouldn't really cause you to bend over at all. 8 of those. Yep, and then just pushing those knees out. If your knees are going outside of your ankles, just move your feet a little wider. All right, and then step in, and then let's do that. Hands rise to the middle, nice arc, like a really slow motion jumping jack. But try to keep it in a nice two-dimensional plane if you can. 8 times. All right. And then back to the windmill, so another wide stance, arms out, twist, toes to fingers to the toes, other side, and try to twist through the middle and hinge at the hip. So if you push your hips back a little bit, it'll help you get a little more hamstring stretch out of it. Let's go 6 on each side. All right, and then that chair pose sequence. So feet pretty narrow, sit your hips back, lift your hands out to a Y, and then it's kind of like a windmill twist, but you'll feel this a little bit more intensely in your upper back and abdomen. Let's just go for each direction. Turn to the side, sit back, twist and open, and try to keep your spine as long as you can, looking forward, not looking up. You can twist to the side. Keep those knees together. One more each way. All right. Warm up done. Get your heart rate up a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Chair poses do it to me. They get my heart rate up pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's go a little bit of a forward fold and shoulder flexion, this time with your palms pressing back 12 times. 2. You try to pull those shoulder blades back, launch your chest forward. 5, 6, so go from right in front of your legs to behind your hips. 7, 8, 9, keep your chin tucked, but press your chest forward as you press your shoulder blades back. Squeeze them back. All right. Now let's spend a little time on the floor. We'll do a couple external, like gluteus medius, external hip rotation options. You can either get on your elbow and just do simple clamshell. I think we'll both be able to push off that low knee. And if you need it even harder than that, you can raise that top leg up together, but we'll stick with the middle one. So knees together, a little bit out in front, as if you were going to do a side plank, but let your hips be bent a little more so your knees are in front of you. Toes flexed, which means pull toward your shin, and then press through that bottom knee, and also lift the top knee and pivot open on your heels. You'll feel a little bit down the side, but mostly just in the side of that low hip. And just rock up on your elbow. You can keep your hands still wherever you like. Go 8 times. One more time. There you go. Now let's turn other side, or you can just flip right over. Get supported on your elbow. Put your palm down so you get some forearm support. Ankles flexed. Press into your knee. And rotate the other one up, rotate the top one out as you press your hips up and forward. 8 times. You should feel some pretty good tension in that low side hip, around the back side, back pocket area. And now let's flip onto your back. So we're going to do, you know, the boat pose, or it's called hollow hold, where you hold like this. Shoulders are lifted, feet are lifted. You're gonna do something kind of similar, but support yourself on your elbows, knees up and bent, and then really slow, extend out, hold it for a second, bring it back in, extend out, and don't let your knees come closer to you than your hips. You can help it, push those heels out and hold for just a few seconds. We'll do 6 of those. Hold it and keep that low back roll pressed into the floor. Push your belly button down. Sink it into the mat. One more time. And if you need a tougher option, we'll do that again. You can release your elbows, which is substantially harder. But let's go. This will be kind of a new one. We'll start in a kneeling position. Sit back on your heels. And then take whatever you can for kind of like a shoulder bind. So if you can, I cannot, but some people can clasp their hands together back there. Get pretty close to that if you can. If that's uncomfortable, just tuck your, let's say your right arm around your back, lift your left arm up, or tuck it right behind your head, and then push up, squeeze your glutes, push your hips forward, and push your chest forward. Should feel a pretty good stretch on each side, but differently.
Yeah, that's good.
Back there. Yeah. If you can get them clasped together, great.
I can't.
I cannot either.
I can't.
Let's just settle back, raise up, press your head back into that top hand, and press your chest forward and hold it for just a few seconds. And then we'll settle back to relax and slump. And again, you can do it with a high hand reach. You'll feel a similar stretch up the back side of your armpit. So feel free to experiment around with that to see which one feels better, feels like a better stretch for you. But the most important thing is contract the glutes so you're not arching your back, but pressing your hips forward, lifting your chest up toward the ceiling. All right, let's try the other side. And it'll probably feel a little different. Generally does. You probably have, especially since you know you have your right side is a little tougher. When your right arm's behind you, it'll probably be harder than your left arm. But again, take as much of a reach back, bind, scratch test, whatever you want to call it, as you can, and start in a relaxed position on your heels to get that set, and then push up through your hips, push your hips forward, lift your chest. You can even push your head back a little bit into that high arm and hang out there for just a few seconds. And then relax. If you need to adjust anything, or you want to try to reach up, slide your shoulder blade up, or try to get a little deeper into that reach. Up. All right, I'm going to go back to this position. I'll manually adjust here. Up. Lift the chest. If you've got an arm behind your head, push your head back a little bit to get an extra stretch and try to lift that elbow as high as you can. Hold it for just a little while. And try to use your back muscles, your glutes, things like that to lift the extension. And try to let those arms and shoulders relax as much as you can. One more time, up. Take a little relax in between, then up. Really lift that chest, maybe a little bit of maybe a gentle back bend if you can keep your glutes and abs pretty contracted. Lift your chest up and relax. All right. How'd that feel?
It was hard.
Challenging?
Even
Okay.
stretching is hard today. Just is wearing me out.
Let's get up and do that
Okay.
back shoulder flexion where you lift, tip forward, press your hands back. 2, 3, 12 times. 4. And each time try to really squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Think about curling your elbows around back to meet each other, even though they won't. Keep the arms straight. One more time. Squeeze it back. All right. To get back down on the floor for those clamshell side planks. Throw the knees forward and bent, feet flexed up on your wrist or on your forearm and elbow, and then push that knee into the floor. Rotate like lever off your heels to lift your top knee, and then sink. Make this as slow motion as you can, 8 times. Squeeze those glutes, push your hips up and forward. 2 more times. All right, other side. So knees forward and bent, ankles flex so the feet are pulled up. Press through that low forearm, lift the top hip, press through that low knee to raise up off the floor 8 times. All right, then on your back, either chest lifted, hands forward or hands up, or use your elbows to support your upper body. Pull the knees right over your hips. Reach out with your legs, push your feet out, pull them back in, push them out and hold. Pull them back in. 6 times, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, out. In, out. One more time. Pull them in, shoot them out and hold. And relax. Okay, we'll come back to that
Ah,
hide your back exercise in just a little bit.
um,
How's everything feeling?
good. That clam or whatever you call it for the right hip, getting up like that, it felt, I guess a lot weaker.
Okay, yep.
That I can tell that side is,
Yeah, I
that's not
think that
exercise for it.
the reason you have trouble with that joint either is because the hip is weaker or it's weaker because it's hurt. But either way, I think that'll help. It certainly isn't going to put that kind of pressure on your hip joint.
It almost feels like the abs are weaker there too, that motion, like, but
If
the
you
other
have
side.
that you kind of lean to one way or the other, it's probably weaker on one side than the other, that's for sure. Let's do a little bit more shoulder work. Today's going to be kind of rear shoulder and hips intensive, because what most of us need. Tip forward just to a pretty gentle forward bend, hip hinge, and do that I, Y, T. So you're making the shape of the letter I with your arms, Y out to the diagonal, and get those fingertips as far away from you as you can. T, just straight up to the side. We already did the back version, so just straight up to the side 5 times. Good, have one more time. Nice and slow forward, out to a diagonal and squeeze, out to the side, a little squeeze. All right, now we're gonna work on our lunges, which will be a little challenging. Feel some burn in the legs. So step forward. Instead of that yoga warrior lunge with your back heel planted, go ahead and turn both sets of toes forward, back heel lifted. Get down into a 90-degree lunge if you can, hold it. Let's reach forward. Try not to shift your legs too much. Twist open. Reach forward. Twist toward that front leg. And then raise up. A little relief. You can plant that back heel for a second. And then let's do it again. Sink. Reach. Back to vertical. Twist. Reach. Vertical and twist the other way. Raise up. Let's go other side. All right. So one leg forward, other leg back. Sink so that knee is right under your hip, which is right under your torso, right under your shoulder. Reach forward. Twist open. Try to stay pretty vertical. Reach forward. Back to vertical. Twist open the other way. And then up for just a minute, just a momentary relief. And then let's sink right back into that lunge, nice and vertical through the body, through the back knee. Then reach forward, back to vertical, twist open, reach forward, back to vertical, twist the opposite direction, raise up. Okay.
Yeah, I like those. Those are a lot like yoga, but different. I like it.
Can you feel a little burning in the thighs when you get down there?
Yeah, and the abs, the whole core is working.
Good.
Yeah.
You can, now the next one we're going to do that push-up position, renegade row it's called. You can do it on the floor from your knees. You can do it, I'm going to show it from a box, which is about the same height as a chair. So get in a push-up position, lean your shoulders out right over your hands, take some wide feet, and then pull one elbow back, then the other. Let's go 8 on each side. Squeeze the abs tight so that you don't rock. So I kind of favor doing it elevated if you can't do it flat on the floor versus knees, just because it makes you use your abs a little more. And squeeze that shoulder blade back. Pull your elbow back. All right. Little break. How's everything feeling?
I like that, Andy, because I feel like my shoulders are in the right place.
Yeah, right.
Unlike when I put them up high in plank or something, I feel like I'm a little lower, my hands.
Nice and stable.
Yeah,
Not reached forward, but also there's no like grinding into them like a full push-up.
I think using the chair helps until I'm really feeling strong or something, yeah.
I'll next time around, I'll show you what the flat on the floor version looks like. But stick with something that's about knee high until it gets kind of easy. So, like
Yeah.
a hard surface chair works great for that.
If you think it's okay with me on the chair, I like that, so whatever.
If you had a spot where you just didn't have one available, you could do it on your knees.
Okay.
But that takes away a little bit from what you get out of the core and hip flexors. So I kind of like the chair version best.
Oh.
But yeah, let's do the IYTs. So we'll go down around that circuit one more time. Keep it moving. I, Y, T, 5 of them each direction. I, Y, and then just straight out for the T. Straight forward. Diagonal. Horizontal. 2 more times. 1, Y, T. Last one. Try to elevate those shoulder blades. Pull them back as you go. All right. Lunges. All right, lunges. So let's go. Right leg first. Step forward. Sink. So 90 degrees, vertical through the torso and hips. And then just a little stretch forward, so a little more pressure on the front leg. Straighten up. Twist open nice and slow. Reach forward. Straighten up. Twist the other way. Up for a little relief into the triangle leg pose. And then right back down into it. Sink that knee. Reach forward. Vertical. Open. Reach forward. Back to vertical. Other direction. Raise up, switch sides. Do you find this easier on one side or the other? Reach.
Well, the first way we went, it just really helped. I felt the pull on my hip, which felt really good. So I would say maybe that side's harder for my hip with my left foot forward.
Okay.
Because I open up my hips, I don't know. It feels like a better stretch on my hip, but they both are hard.
Twist. Reach. Twist the back.
Did you have both Joanna and Nicole yesterday?
Yep. Yep, sure did. All right. And then one more time on that side. Dip. Reach.
Or it's Joanne, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, Joanne.
Joanne.
And done with the lunges.
Okay.
All right. And then back to that renegade row. So I'll show you what it looks like on the floor. So wide feet in a good high plank position. You're going to. So get down, get ready, go time, 8 on each side. Just pull that elbow back. So a little more challenging on the floor, but not a ton. Just find a spot where your hips don't rock. So if you can't keep from swaying on the floor, go back to the chair. There we go. All right. Done with the box for a minute. So we're going to go into a series of a few bridges. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. We're about halfway through. So we do lots of varieties of hip bridges. This time we're going to try to include a little bit more shoulder stretch in there. So as you lift your hips up, grab your, clasp your fingers and try to get up on your shoulder blades and push your shoulder blades down your back. Let's just hold that for a few seconds. Really push those shoulder blades into the floor and squeeze your glutes to stay elevated. Hang out there for a few seconds, and you'll feel a little bit more of a shoulder stretch while you do this. And then down for a relax. Next time, we'll go here in just a second. Instead, put your elbows on the floor, hands up, and really push your elbows into the floor. And feel some squeeze through the back of your shoulders and upper back as you hold that for 10 seconds. So we'll gradually progress it up through some options for upper back and shoulder strength and flexibility. So if you've got the flexibility to go into a full bridge, put your fingers under your elbows, push your hips up, and press through your hands to lift. Now it's really important if you're doing this to squeeze your glutes so you're not hyperextending your back. Otherwise, do one of the other two options, but this is an option if you want to take it there. And then real slow, tuck your chin, lower yourself down. Did you find one of those that you like?
Yeah, I'm
hands down. Yeah, something where you're having to forcefully pull your shoulder blades back is the goal while we're doing a otherwise fairly simple hip bridge. But let's get up and do some internal hip rotation to give those hips a little relief. So sit up with your feet a little wider than your hips, about 18 inches apart, and then just press one knee toward the other calf, and you should feel a pretty noticeable stretch in that hip. Then the other side, give it a little squeeze. So the inner thigh muscle should be doing the squeezing, the pulling. You should be feeling a stretch somewhere right around that hip joint.
Oh yeah, it's intense for me. Yeah.
Yeah, yep, me too.
You too?
Yeah, yep. I mean, some people can get their knee like all the way to their ankle, but I think it's still pretty intense for them. It's just kind of an intense spot. So try to keep that chest lifted. Use your hands to keep your back posture good. You go a couple more each side. So try not to twist in the body too much. You keep your chest up and shoulders square. The only thing that's really turning is that hip joint. All right. And then tuck your legs behind you so you get back up on your knees. We'll do that, what I call a half bind shoulder stretch again. So kneeling, sitting back on your ankles if that's comfortable. Get one arm behind you, the other one up overhead, bring it down. If you can clasp your fingers together, great. If not, you can just use your head, keep that arm in place, and then push up through your hips. Push your hips forward, squeeze those glutes. You can even push your shoulders and head back a little bit. Feel that stretch. Hold it for just a little while. And if that doesn't feel great on your high arm, just keep it reach straight up. It's the other option if you don't have great overhead mobility. Here, just lift it as high as you can and hold it. Squeeze those glutes, push your hips forward, pull your abs in so you get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch. At the same time, you can even take it back just a little bit. Try not to hyperextend your back. As long as you keep your glutes engaged, it'll help. Let's go one more time. Back to whatever option you can do.
Should I switch options or not yet?
Not yet. We'll do a number 3 on this one. Now let's switch. So I'm going to change direction just so you can see me a little better. So now I'm going left arm behind, which for me is easier. Yep. Right arm up. And I'm going to take it into a little bit of a tricep stretch and then lift, press those hips forward, lift the chest and lean your head back just a little so you feel the edge of a stretch. And hold. And then relax. And relax. And then one more time, take that bind as much as you can, up and lift the chest, press the hips forward, keep those abs engaged. And then take on your out breath, try to let those shoulders just settle back. One more time. All right, for this last one, I'm just gonna reach straight up and try to lift my shoulder blade. I'll look up a little bit and press my chest forward. Still feel it under the high hand armpit, but a little differently. Okay. All right, let's go back to those bridges that we worked on. So this time we'll do three bridges. Just pick the one that worked, that felt like it was working the best for you. Last time, whether it was hands clasped underneath, elbows driving into the floor, or that full bridge. I'll go through each one again, but pick the one that you feel like works best and try to stick with it. So let's go up and lift. So I'm doing the easiest option here, shoulder blades back, hands clasped. All right, down and relax. Then the next kind of medium option is elbows into the floor. Try to lift your chest, push your shoulders back and lift your chest as you lift your hip up. Try to keep those hips lifted. And if you're doing the elbows one, elbows out wide. You can even reach them back and press your knuckles into the floor if you want to also. It's a little more intense. And then next, I'll try that full bridge with my hands back. For me, the hardest thing about this lift is my wrist flexibility. That's a good chance to stretch that. And relax. All right. All right. Then back to the internal hip rotation. So sitting up, knees up, feet apart, and then just alternately press your knee toward your calf. This one shouldn't be very tiring, but it can be pretty intense.
That's much better now.
Yeah, right?
Unless I'm doing
About that contract, relax cycle that helps the flexibility even pretty immediately. So doing some of those hip bridges after internal rotation stretching, we're working opposite pairs that control that joint. And that's something I think that gets left out a lot in flexibility and mobility work. And a lot of times when people do have an injury or even just a pull or a tightness, they're prone to stretch it. They don't ever do any strengthening on the other side of the joint. So if one side's overly tight, almost always the other side is overly weak, which is what causes the side to be tight because it falls into that position. So the stretching will give you some relief right then, but if you don't ever do the strengthening, it'll just go back to where it was.
Yeah.
So I'm always on you guys about doing things like that.
Is this right? Can you see?
So the one knee straight up over your foot, and the other knee goes in, but the knee that doesn't move doesn't move.
Okay, maybe they do.
Sort of a squeezing the knees together. The high one, you have to use a little bit of inner thigh tension to prevent it just from falling this way. But you get a little bit more out of it if you keep it high rather than just let it fall to the side. All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Good. So moving on, we'll do what will probably be, I guess, fitting the more intense muscle endurance, like a little bit of muscle burning feeling. So we'll do some squats, but not just regular squats. We'll do squat and hold about halfway down, and then we'll fall all the way in. So go ahead with me now, and then we'll just hold it here. And if you feel like you're going to fall backwards, you can put your hands on the floor. If it's really bad, you can hold on to something up here, maybe a chair or something like that. But you got to keep those heels on the floor. If you can anchor your elbows and push yourself up, get a little stretch of a different kind. And if you need to, rock back onto your fingers to get up. And then let's hold this halfway up squat. Go ahead and come up halfway. Don't leave me hanging here. We're gonna hold it for about 5 seconds. Should burn pretty intensely. And stand up. So we're gonna do that 4 more times. Halfway down, hold, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. Drop, and this should feel like a bit of a relief. So heels wide, hips low. Hang out there for about 5 seconds, and then back that halfway up hold. 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. All the way up. Breath. Down and hold, halfway down. All the way down. And here, just relax if you can. Rock back on those heels, sit up straight. Halfway up and hold. All the way up. Wow. Is it getting a little birdie? A little intense? Yeah. All right, down and hold. And then all the way down and sink into what should feel like a stretch. If you need to, lever on your elbows to lift your chest. Then halfway up, hold. And all the way up. Ha. Okay, one more time. Inside, down. So hips just a little higher than your knees, which actually creates about the most tension on your quads. And all the way down low, get some relief. Halfway up, last time, and hold it, 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 and up. Ah. Okay.
Hopefully I'm doing those right, Andy. I feel a lot of it right here, the burn on the outside of my quads.
Yep.
Okay.
That's typical, that's normal. And it probably has to do with a little bit your foot placement, whether your feet are narrow and turned out or wide or whatever. All right, back on the floor for a hip bridge and march. So 8 on each side into a bridge, whatever's comfortable. And then alternately lift one leg at a time. Go 8 on each side. Abs tight, glutes engaged. Push through the heel to march that other leg out. All right, and down, flip right over. Let's get into a elbow plank. Adjust my mat here. Elbow plank. Then we're gonna alternately reach. So wide feet, reach your hands forward. 8 on each side. And if this is a little too much, just hold the plank until we're done. Try not to rock, really dig those toes in. One more each side. All right. And work your way back up. How are those planks? Tough?
Tough. And I was rocking a lot.
So when you find you're doing that, go a little wider with the feet. Really dig those toes into the floor real hard. You'll feel some tension in your hip flexors, which is a good thing. It's helping support the front side of your hip. And it's really engaging those abs. So, but they're tough. They're really tough.
Yeah.
And if you do 8 of them, do 6, and then just hold a regular plank for a few seconds. Do 5, whatever you can do. That's fine.
Okay.
Back to the squat. So halfway down. Go ahead. All the way down and let everything relax. Try to keep upright in your body, your torso, then back halfway. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. Quick breath. Down. Hold. All the way down. Relax. Press those knees out. Raise back up. Hold. All the way up. 2 down, 2 to go. All right, down, hold. All the way down and relax. Up and hold halfway. All the way up.
I don't know if you can hear it, but I've got some Christmas music going on.
That's nice. Might as well be Christmas.
It's on a shuffle.
Oh,
It's on a shuffle, so it sometimes I get a Christmas song once.
that's all right. All the way down and relax. Hopefully you feel a little bit of hip stretch when you sit those hips way down there, look up, then rise halfway. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Should be burning pretty good here and there. And all the way up. Okay. Good. All right. Back to those marching hip bridges. So marching hip bridges, you can clasp your hands or just let them relax. Lift the hips up. March it out. Or if you want to go all the way up high, you can. 8 on each side. I'm going to stick with straight out now. Those hips lifted. Press through the heel. Last one. All right. Then one more time. Plank with a forward reach. If you don't have any shoulder trouble, you can do it from a high plank, like a push-up. And reach forward. It's a little easier on the shoulders, maybe tougher on the abs to stay in a low plank. Wide feet, reach. Other hand, 2, 2. Let's just keep going. Try to get to 8. And keep your chin tucked. Don't need to see where your hands are going. Keep that neck safe. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. All right, done with those. You can stay right on the floor for now. So get into a little bit of a stretch. How are you feeling? Abs feeling engaged?
Yeah, my abs they've gaining some weight over here, so the abs aren't looking good these days.
Well, best cure for that is push-ups. Send that food back. No, not really.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, training ab muscles doesn't really have much, well, nothing to do with abdominal fat, but it helps keep that low back healthy, which is sort of in a long run approach. Better low back health means you're probably more mobile, means you're more likely to do active stuff.
Yeah.
Burn the calories that way.
Yeah.
So, toes together, knees apart, sink your hips back and press through your hands. Get that forehead right on the floor. And then creep your fingers forward and try to relax upper back as much as you can. Let's hang out there for just a little bit. All right, and then just rock forward. Let's rock right back into it, child's pose. Reach those hands forward and try to lay your ribs down onto your thighs. And just let everything relax as much as you can. All right. Rock back up, hands and knees. And we'll do that frog pose that we did last time. I'm gonna face you so you can see. Walk your knees out pretty wide so you can already feel a little bit of stretch on your inner thigh. And then flip your toes out. Hopefully you can see toes are turned out so the inside of my ankles are touching the floor. My hips are my knees are pretty wide. Now I'm just gonna push with my hands, push my hips back. And this should feel kind of like that internal hip rotation stretch. Just sink back into it so you find a place that is appropriately intense and just hang out there for a little bit. And then just rock forward, feet together. You sit back into sort of a semi-child's pose for a second to relax. That gets a little intense. And let's do it again. So rock forward on your hands. Walk your knees out wide, feet out, toes out. This time, see if you can sink down onto your elbows and still push forward with your hands to push your hips back. This should feel like something. This should feel pretty intense. Can you feel that, Gail? On the inside
Yeah,
of your
it's good. It doesn't feel, it just feels good. Not like anything's hurting. It's good.
Okay. For me, it's pretty intense. Like I can do
Really?
it. Okay. And then just crawl your way out of it. Let's go 1 foot or shin horizontal in front of you, knee bent, the other leg behind you. And we'll try to do a quad stretch from there. So pick up your back foot. Can you see me? And then use this other hand to lift yourself up. Pretty upright. And then whatever position you can take. A yoga style would be to wrap it in your elbow. I'm not going to do that because I can't. But if you can, you can. But find a spot that's fairly stable. So you're sinking that knee and lifting your chest and ribs forward. That should feel like a pretty good quad stretch. Let's down and relax. So we've got 1 foot, knee bent in front, the other foot behind. We'll try that leg one more time. So grab ankle or toes, roll up onto that front knee, and push your hips forward. A little bit of rotation to the back is fine.
Sorry, Andy, just 1 second.
All right. You got some legal documents coming through?
Very important. Practice timesheets.
Okay, then yes. All right.
Okay.
Let's flip it around to the other side. So
You're welcome.
knee, right leg across in the front, left leg behind, and palm down on the floor. Grab that leg and then just roll up onto that knee. Push your torso forward. It's a little gentle quad stretch. You might also feel it on the hip on the down leg too. Hold it for a few seconds.
I like this instead of the standing quad because it's way higher in the hip.
Yeah, right. You get some hip flexor work out of it and you don't fall down, which is awesome.
Yeah.
No balance issue. Okay, raise back up. Press your hips forward by squeezing your glutes.
Yeah, after a long workout, sometimes it's nice to be on the mat.
Yep, I agree. All right, then back down. We'll stay on the mat actually for the rest of the day. Let's do that figure 4 stretch where you pull your leg across. Let's go right leg across so that it's bent at the knee and your ankle is a little bit above your knee on the other side. So if that feels like a stretch, that's fine. If you can, either pull it in with your hand or lift with your knee. So if you lift with your knee, you can lean back on your palms. And I can lift my hips. That helps me scoot my hips forward into a little more of a stretch. And then I can rock back and use that knee to pull it in. And I'm going to go all the way to reaching through that hole in my leg, clasping my other hand, rock back, and use the free leg, pull that knee in to really stretch that hip. Outside of the hip, it's called the piriformis. A little muscle right under your glutes that does a lot of hip stuff, but it also does a lot of low back aggravating if it's not feeling good. All right, and then just relax it down, but let's keep that figure 4. And then if you're all the way in the hands threaded through position, rethread those hands and pull that knee in. Just take a few nice exhales and see if you can pull it in a little closer. And relax. Does that feel like it's working okay for you?
Yeah.
Hurting anything?
Yeah, that was, I don't have as much stretch on that side. It was my right leg up,
Okay.
but it was good still. Good for it.
Good. Okay, so cross it over, other leg, left leg if you're facing me. Lean back onto your palms, lift your knee. You can even scoot in if you need to. Find that spot where it's a pretty mild stretch to maybe moderate stretch. Don't take it to like a painful degree. I'm gonna rock back, pull my knee in and thread my hands through and really get into it and hold it.
Is your head off the ground, Andy?
It's not supposed to be. Sometimes if I'm looking up to see you,
Oh, okay.
really just let everything relax, except
Yeah.
the knee that's driving that hip into you, and maybe your arms, depending on how hard you need to pull. And then let's relax for a few seconds. So sit in that legs crossed position. And then let's pull it in one more time. Pull the knee in, reach through, grab through, and pull, and just try to get as much out of that stretch as you can. For me, pulling my knee in does more than even pulling with my arms to get leverage on that hip.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, almost done. Now we'll do the most relaxing one of all, the side lying windmill. So that one, lay on your back, one knee up. So let's say right knee, drag it over. So you feel a little bit of a back stretch, and then just turn onto that side. So the side where your knee is, and put your hands together out in front, like a clap, you're clapping. And then trace a big arc, like a rainbow style arc, all the way over your head. So your hands are pointed to the back, and then bring it back over. Trace it around, around, around. Let's do 6 of these. Called the side lying windmill. So big arc. And then bring that hand back over together. Trace it around. Go around over your head. Yeah, there you go. Oh, never mind. I was just looking at you upside down.
I don't know if you can see me down here or not.
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
think I had it.
As you go over the top, just let that breath out and you'll get a little more stretch. Clap them back together one more time. And bring them back together and change sides. What position is easiest for you to see? I'll try this way. So, right leg straight. Bend the knee 90 degrees and bring it over. Then roll onto your side, hands together. Draw that arc over, over, over. Then bring it back together. Move it back up just a little bit. Let's do 5 more of those for 6 altogether.
That's really nice on the shoulder.
Yeah, it is. It hits like every part that needs to got in that shoulder, including a little bit of a chest stretch, but in a very pleasant way.
Right here is across the top of the shoulder into the chest. Oh, that's.
Yeah, I feel it most when I right up to.
You feel it too?
Yeah, I feel it when I'm pointed straight overhead, right up the side, like where my shoulder connects to my armpit, and then what you're talking, my shoulders directly, or my hands directly behind me. Yeah, that's stretching open, and then you get to use your abs just a little bit to squeeze to pull that hand back over. But that is it. That's it for today. Hopefully you feel kind of relaxed and opened up.
Oh, it was wonderful. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't copy it or tape it so I could do it again.
Oh,
but
I got it recorded.
Oh, you do? You do?
I put the last 2 up on my YouTube channel, which I can send you a link for, but it's just youtube.com/AndySmith0906.
Yeah, send me the link. Do you sometimes, and because I've been doing the other one, was it on Facebook or where was I doing it then?
My Mondays I put on Facebook Live, Mondays and Thursdays. So the Mondays the strong class on Facebook Live. Speaking of which, I'm going to turn this Facebook Live off.
Okay.
Wants to know specifically where to get those YouTubes, let me know.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But yeah, on my YouTube channel, there's all kinds of exercise demos, but I've recorded so this will be the 3rd one, each one of these. And it's just my screen size, so it just sees me, it doesn't see you. Don't say anything too incriminating, because I think I hear your voices. But anyway,
I won't give out any account numbers or anything. Credit card numbers.
what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so if you want to watch them, they're there. I've had a hard time like getting them to Stacy to send out. Have you used the links that the gym has sent?
Yes.
And successfully, right? They work okay?
The first ones did. I did like the yoga with Carolyn, and I've done I looked at Jordan's, and then I do the live ones with Drina.
Yeah, the live ones should work just fine, but for whatever reason I couldn't, like you have to log into the gym's YouTube channel. And usually if you try to log into somebody else's Gmail account of any kind, you have to like authorize it through like a text link or something like that.
Yeah.
We could never get it coordinated. So anyway, but I'll send them to you.
Yeah. No, and I know on Facebook I can always go back and look too. I've been doing a few. So other Gail, if she comes on Thursdays, does she get charged if she just showed up on Thursdays with me, or?
Well, if she wants to make it kind of a regular, just in the interest of helping support the gym and stuff, I'll ask her if she can. You know, like if she can afford to pay, I will ask her to. But if she can't, or if you know, that's kind of the approach I've been taking is that if financially people are in a spot where they can't, then fine, do what you can. But
some of Jan's classes, so.
But yeah, I emailed her about today, but I didn't hear back.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. Okay. She might be busy.
Yeah.